everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Everything LCS with Magi and Vega. We are here today to talk to you guys about what we think possibly make up the Mount Rushmore of the LCS. I mean, and also the LCS is coming up soon. We got 1 more week, 2 more weeks, right? Right, Vega?
Yeah, I believe so. We're coming up really fast on Summer Split right now.
And I'm super excited because I miss it. But also this week we have the MSI tourney, I think, the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, got to be getting up real early.
So to watch some high-quality LPL and LCK blind pick matches. No, it's only the first game, but yeah, I'm super excited to have some pro play coming back in the scene. Where some changes have happened recently, which we will hit later on, but we shall hit right on it,
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, just before we jump in, those groups are stacked. Like, it's insane. Like the mid-season Korea-China League.
Yeah, and they're going to have, those 4 teams are going to have such good practice because they're against, because what? It's SKT, Genji, Damwon, and DRX. All 4 of those teams were like really good, and I feel Damwon Gaming had like a big rally towards the end. Had some pretty good games. And then LPL, their 4 teams are just, their top 4 teams are always good, but we never get to see the top 4 teams. So, but we're gonna see that during Worlds, which I'm excited for. Yeah, it's like JDG, Top Esports, FPX, and IG.
It's disgustingly stacked groups. This should be a really, really, really good tournament.
Yeah, I'm actually super excited. The blind pick match is gonna be fun, but I will be super looking forward to the actual matches. And I don't know, it'll just be really good to see such high quality games and such skilled players going against each other, going back and forth. Hopefully, it won't be a stomp. And who knows, maybe LCK comes out on top and people start like hyping it up too much. Like LCK is caught up to the LPL. Oh my God, it's happening. LCK is gonna win Worlds this year. I feel that's what's gonna happen if the LCK comes out on top. This charity, people are gonna hype it up too much.
I'm like totally okay with the LCK getting back to being a dominant force. By the way, I just want to go on record with that. I'm totally okay with that.
But what about the LCS?
Unless LCS wins, of course. But
unless the LCS wins Worlds.
EG wins Worlds.
Oof. Oh man, that'd be interesting.
That's not on record. I'm not going out and saying like I think EG is gonna win Worlds. By the way, I don't want to be associated with that take. I don't want that to get clipped and put anywhere.
I feel it's already out there, so you can't deny that it was that was something you said.
Take the VOD down. This didn't happen.
Oh man, so EG wins Worlds, guys. Just so you know.
If they do, we'll go back and find this.
I mean, maybe they will after their rebrand. Really like their new logo. Honestly, it's so much better than just some words, and the jersey looks nice. So maybe that's the buff they need.
It is
to make it. Who needs a wife buff when you have a jersey buff?
I'm so glad I waited to buy a jersey until they did the rebrand because this looks so much better.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. I may actually get a jersey. Seems like a good time to invest in this team since they did get 3rd.
Yeah.
Overall in the spring, and I feel coming up hopefully they'll be even better. But all right, yeah. So are you ready to talk about our LCS Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So me and Vega decided to think about what would the LCS Mount Rushmore look like. We'd have our top, would we consider top players or most notable players?
Both, I guess. Kind of.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Best in skill and biggest impact on the league.
Yeah. So, and that's what we decided to discuss. It's like, what players throughout the LCS have really left an impact on the game or have just had very solid career so far?
I can't help this, like, We're gonna do. I assume we're doing top first, and it's just
Well,
who
yes, we're
had the
doing
biggest
top.
impact on the
Uh,
league.
you already ruined the
I'm
joke I was
sorry,
going
I
to
was not
make.
gonna help it.
But okay, so as you guess, first face on the LCS Mount Rushmore is in fact someone with the big impact, because it's impact for me. That's why I said I don't know what Vega chose on. Uh, did you also choose impact, Vega?
I also chose impact. Yes.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, the reason that I chose impact for the face on the mountain of LCS Mount Rushmore is because I feel impact over the years, even on his, especially on his time in C9, he has kind of like really solidified his spot as one of the most resourceful players in the league, and has always been the top laner to kind of beat or try to be like, just because he was always the type of player to absorb so much pressure and being able to just take whatever the enemy team gives him and dishes out, and top die and all this other stuff. So Impact has, and also that's when I really started to watch LCS myself. Was when, say, Impact was on C9, and he was really, and ever since then I was like, wow, this guy's a really good player. He's able to just he'll just be the guy. He'll be the foundation for a team. I mean, sure, that kind of went a bit different this split for Team Liquid, but quote unquote motivation issues. But yeah, Impact has to be the top lane for LCS. Just history wise, the way he's handled himself all these years. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the same reasons for me. Um, when I went into the list, I kind of tried to pick people. I went into it at first being like, who's the best North American player? But then I found myself not really feeling comfortable picking like a Dyrus to be the best in a top.
Yeah, I can't even see Dyrus being the best in top.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was like, is it Licorice? Like, is Licorice the best in a top ever?
Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon. That's where I got to. It's too soon. Impact has been, even to go way back. This is old guy Vega here. When he was on Impulse with Rush, the split Rush got MVP. Impact was like super good then, coming over like fresh off being on SKT and being like sick world champion top laner. Ever since then, he's been a rock in NA. Like every team he's been on, he's been a rock top. He's had spurts of being like a really good in lane top too, like someone who can get solo kills and things like that. But since buddying up with Double Lift, it's been less of that. But I can't remember a time. I know they probably exist, but I can't remember a time ever where I was like, wow, Impact is getting straight bodied, like in this matchup. I think back to the IG series at MSI last year, where he was against the Shy and like showed up huge for them and like getting them the wins in that best of 5. Like it was super surprising because everybody expected the Shy is gonna body Impact. He's just a he's just a rock. He's just an immovable force, and Shy is far and away the best top player in the world. And he had a 6 series against him. And he really hadn't fallen off since then. He had a rough split this split, but the body of work is just too big. Every team he's been on has been a title contender, if not a champion. Even on C9 when they weren't winning titles, they were getting to finals, they were in playoffs, they were a good team every split. So yeah, and he's been a world champion, not in NA, but he has been a semi-finalist in NA on Cloud9 and multiple times to Worlds on Liquid and C9 both.
Don't forget the finalist for MSI.
Finalist for MSI with Team Liquid also. Yeah, there's not really anybody who approaches him in that regard. The only Licorice with more time, maybe, because Licorice also has a semi-final and has been to Worlds twice. Now has a title of his own.
Yep.
But sustainability, Impact has been far and away the most stable top laner in North America for 4 or 5 years. So it was an easy pick for me.
Yeah, definitely no real uh other top really comes to mind for this. But yeah, easy decision. Um Moving
Speaking of
on for
easy
the
ones,
oh yeah.
you want
The
to talk?
easiest
Go
yeah, the
ahead.
next one that's pretty easy for us for jungle is X Smithy. You know, this is the guy honestly everyone always talks about, even other players overseas. They respect his pathing, they respect how he plays, they respect his veterancy. I for one chose him because he's I guess you could say he's the only jungler who's really gotten like 3 different teams to Worlds. So CLG or I mean or 3 different teams to international events. Like CLG, um, Immortals, Team Liquid, and each time that's happened, he's always been such an important piece for it, being the enabler, being able to set the game up, set the map up how it's needed for his teammates to be able to perform how they need to. Yeah, Xmith is really the only jungle over the time in the LCS that's truly, in my opinion, truly stood out. Just because of how long he's been here and just what he's accomplished over this time while he's been um, in pro play. Even as one of the oldest players, he's still well. Okay, but let's say not exactly last split, but we can blame Immortals for that. I blame the roster and their coaching and everything else.
He
Um,
actually was not bad last split. Like he actually
yeah,
was
he
still
wasn't
like a
that
pretty
bad. He
good
was one
jungler.
of yeah, he was one of the reasons why um, Immortals did pull off some wins. So he is a very important piece in the NA in the NA history in general, and is honestly a jungle that a lot of junglers currently uh, think of or look up to as what type of player they're trying to be for their team. And yeah, so yeah, jungle is super easy position to think of.
Yeah, for me, I mean, this is slam. It's Smithy. I mean, there's no jungler in NA with. If we just wanted to talk titles, he's third most. I think maybe tied for second in titles overall. Um, and having played on 4 different teams to go to Worlds, that Immortals team, like you spoke about, he elevated that team. That was a roster of essentially nobodies. I mean, Cody Sun was still called Revenge, I think, at the time. It was like
Yeah, actually no, he was still Cody's son. I'm
I
pretty
think he
sure.
changed it when he got brought
Yeah,
on that
when he got
split,
into
right?
Immortals, he was still.
Yeah. Um, they had Flame and like Pobelter, but at the time, Flame was coming off not having something overseas to play on after coming off of Zubu, and Pobelter was in a mid who was okay, but he wasn't smashing Bjergsen or Jensen or somebody like that. And that team went to finals and went to Worlds, and a lot of that team was not good the split before, and then bringing in Smithy, that Dardoch trade, is what pushed that team to be a Worlds contender and be able to go to finals. He's often the most overlooked player, I think, in the LCS like greats because
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
he's not flashy. He's not like a jungler who's high octane, who's constantly making ganks, things like that. But he's incredibly cerebral. He understands pathing, like you said. People around the world talk about how good Smithy's pathing is. Um, Also, in the biggest moments, he is calm. Go back to the MSI with CLG where they went to the finals. I mean, they won that game down 16k off Smithy jumping into pit as Kindred, and Kindred ulting a dragon so that he could outsmite the enemy jungler afterwards to get like back when the dragons were stacking, to get like a fifth dragon to win the game.
Yeah,
I mean, that's I can't think of anybody else, any other North American junglers that have done things like that, especially not an international stage. Uh, he he is, I believe, the oldest player in LCS right now. I think he's 28 or 29, and he looked fine this split, which is a good sign for a lot of players, because he has not really fallen off. His playstyle has evolved over time. He's become more of a cerebral player. He's become less of high ganking. When he first came into the league, actually, he was like a Lee Sin one trick, which is really funny. And then he actually went out of the scene for an entire split until CLG picked him up randomly. And then, of course, they went on to win 2 titles with him before stupidly trading him, and I'll never forgive you, CLG. But yeah, I think Smithy is easily the best jungler in North America. I looked at other people just trying to find someone I could compare with him. Names that come to mind are like Svenskeren, maybe Meteos early on in his career, but no one has had that staying power of, being able to be that good for that long. I would say arguably he might be, outside of Double It, the greatest North American player ever to play because of his success on so many different teams and his ability to elevate other teams. As where, if you compare him to like a Bjergsen, for instance, Bjergsen has had a ton of success in North America, but it's all been on TSM. Now, albeit Bjergsen has also had trash rosters that he's had to elevate. But, yeah, I would say Smithy, hands down, first face on the LCS Mount Rushmore.
Especially for the jungle position.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No one holds
position,
the candle.
For support, for every position.
Every
the best
position.
player. He's the best player. He's the best player in history. He's better than Faker.
It's true. Faker hasn't won 5 NALCS titles.
That's true. How many NALCS titles does Faker have? 0.
Oh, man. And yeah, so with Dex Smithy, with our first 2 being so like easy, the middle one was a bit more difficult. Feel middle one, mid lane. Mid lane has been was the more difficult one to choose. Kind of, for me, I decided on High. Actually, High, he's one of the players that even though he's not playing anymore, he's still one of the players that I hear about in like multiple interviews from the C9 staff, from players, saying how the way he played the game really changed how other teams play the game. To be honest, he was such a good micromanager. He got C9 there. He did get C9 their first win, right? Yeah, first final.
Yeah, first 2 titles, both with.
Yeah, he got C9. Yeah, he got C9 their first 2 titles, and that shows. Imagine if his lungs didn't collapse. Imagine just how C9 could have just went on to win 2 more, like 4-time champs already if he didn't go. But the things I hear about now, the things I heard about when he was still playing, he was a player that was just able to manage everything and just was a key. He was a key part on what some teams needed and what teams had to work out. So High is my mid lane base on Mount Rushmore. He has been, as I say, he's not out of the scene now, but just his play, him putting his team like above the curve for like a split or like 2 splits and everything, and just how highly people still speak of him. There's not that many players in the LCS that people speak so highly of still, even though they like have stopped playing. And yeah, that's why I have High as my face. Not my face, but Mountain.
He is your face.
You're
wearing a High mask right now.
That I just want to channel High. That's what I try to do. I channel him when I play solo queue. I tell my friends, I'm like, hey guys, and Clash definitely. I'm like, hey guys, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. You gotta do this.
Yeah, and there's like this revisionist history too that like for some reason High was bad in lane and was just a great shot caller. As someone who watched LCS during that time, he was not bad in lane. Like he was a complete LCS player and just happened to be that good at shot calling. He was like the first person that anyone talked about like they're an outstanding shot caller. He was able to overcome the Bjergsen gap of, Bjergsen was so much better than every other mid laner in lane, and High shot calling was enough to like keep his team relevant even after TSM made those moves. He's not my pick, but just to add to your pick.
All right. We get it.
I went really boring. It's Bjergsen for me. Since coming into the LCS, I'll say he has the LeBron James syndrome, which is that he was so hyped up coming over here. It was going to be next to impossible to ever live up to the hype, of how good he was supposed to be coming to NA, which seems weird looking back on it because you look at his history before coming here. It's not like he was like smashing EU. Like he was good, but he was not like, they weren't like in finals or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think he did. I think 100% he lived up, at least in North America, to the hype. I mean, ton of titles, 100% for the first 3-4 years. I mean, he was the best mid laner in North America. Unequivocally. There was no other team that had a mid laner that could stand up to him. I'm taking completely like international competition out of this and just thinking just strictly North America. What he did to elevate the mid laners in North America as far as like laning, what he would punish with, his ability to find leads constantly in every game and elevate his own team around him to be better. I almost want to say there's this thought that like in recent years he's come down from where he was. I don't think that's true. I think that there's more good mid laners in North America now than there were then. I think like Niski and Jensen, Pobelter has always been okay, are also good, and Jizuke, another one, have elevated the level of North America to now where he does not show off as much as he used to. But he 100% took a TSM team that without him, I mean, I don't think a lot of those teams get to finals or get titles at all. Like, we're talking the, Wild Turtle, Lust Boy, Santorin, Dyrus team that gets drugged to finals, and gets a title.
Star.
Yeah, Yellow Star that gets drugged to finals with Doublelift and Bjergsen. And I mean, a lot of that's off, Bjergsen just being insane. And you go back and watch even that 5-game series against Liquid. I mean, like, he's playing extremely well against Jensen. The only thing I wish for him is that, and I think all fans wish this, it's just the thing, we want to see him return to the I'm going to carry style that he had early in his career. And some of that's, a symptom of League of Legends is less an individual game now than it was in Season 4 and Season 5. But, I just love to see Bjergsen be like, no, I'm the best mid laner in North America. I'm going to smash other mids in North America because I think he's completely capable of it. And I think his body of work since coming to NA speaks for itself. He has the most titles of any player not named Doublelift Nick Smithy. He's been in lane, at least, the most dominant mid laner in LCS since coming.
I think he cut.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Are you good? You hear me?
Hello?
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, yours just popped up. Okay. But yeah, I think he's 100% the best mid laner NA's ever had. I could see the argument for High. High is probably the best team player mid laner NA LCS has ever had. And what he did for team play in LCS is outstanding in pushing like mid laners forward to not just being laning and showing what team play could be. And I think Bjergsen's the best laning mid laner NA's ever had.
Yeah. And I agree how Bjergsen, he has kind of gone away from his old form, and I really feel he should just try to go back to it. I know like over time players decide to change their play style and realize, hey, maybe I should start playing this way and all sorts of stuff, but I feel like that really isn't what you have to do in terms for like, especially if you're a player that can definitely carry a game, it's just not you should keep yourself from doing. C9, they're winning because they legit let every player possibly carry a game. That's why they're winning. So I really hope this split coming up, Bjergsen changes his play style a bit more to I know Doublelift is on the team now, but they really need that mid jungle to really pop off. So it'd be great to see Bjergsen go back. Hey, I'm gonna smash this lane. I'm gonna smash your team. I'm gonna smash your next. Okay. That's all that's going to happen. Well, there's nothing you can do about it.
They've got an all-star jungle now, so it should be easy. Yeah, Spica, multiple-time LCS champion. Wait, I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyways, I'm sure it'll be fine. They'll be great.
All right, yeah, it'll be. Yeah. So now we're on our our bot side for the Mount Rushmore. This one's super easy, honestly. There's no real ADC that comes to mind. There's no ADC that's really won as much, and there's no ADC that has had such a presence on the scene in general, and Doublelift. Do you want to start off on Doublelift?
Yeah, I'm an old school CLG fan, so I'll give the double lift reasoning here. He is, you know, unequivocally the best bot laner North America's ever had. He, since coming into the league, has been dominant in lane. He has pushed other AD carries. I wouldn't say he's even elevated the level of other AD carries. He just pushed AD carries aside. It was pretty much you don't play bot side against whatever team he is on. He has pulled multiple supports who I think are probably would not have the careers they have without having played with Double Lift up. He lacks international success. I'm not going to hold that against him. And one thing about Double Lift that I'm going to go a little bit on a little anti Double Lift part here. It took a while for Double Lift to get there as a player. But since Double Lift hit the peak on CLG and got his first title, it has been nothing but success since. He has been absolutely dominant every split up until the last one where he had motivation issues. It happens to all players. Everybody has a down split. But yeah, there's very rarely ever been a conversation for anyone else in the number one spot since LCS started. Even way back when Turtle was first like popping off and like playing well, it was still, is it Turtle or Double Lift? And people still favored Double Lift.
Yep.
Sven, Cody's son, Sneaky, no other AD carry has ever really been able to compare to him. I had Sneaky second on my list, but just in titles, renown, how long he's played in the LCS, the impact he's had on the ecosystem in LCS, he's probably the greatest North American player ever to have played. He's the most title winners, has an MVP, most first team all leagues. It's really hard to make a case for anyone else to be close to where he is. You gonna give your Double Lift 2 cents? If I didn't
My
say.
Double Lift 2 cents. I mean, you basically said it all. This man has, he has his stints where he motivation issues. He took that break for TSM, then he back because he realized that whatever he was doing isn't what he wants to do, and he wants to came back, proceeded to win, and came back, proceeded to win after helping TL not get relegated. Then went on TL and helped them win 4 splits in a row. And he's just, and I mean, yeah, he had his bad break this split, but he's a player that has just so much. I feel like he just has so much force on him. Like whatever team he's on, people will look at because they'll just see, they're like, oh, Double F is on this team. Okay, he's gonna carry this team to playoffs, to finals, to whatever, and he's going to just be smashing everything. And as Vega said, there's no other bot laner that comes to mind at all in terms of who is the best bot lane that NA has had ever, and it's only Double. He's basically the poster child of LCS. He has all the accolades. He's just the only possible answer. And it's kind of sad. It's really sad just because no other players currently have held a candle to him and what he brings. I mean, right now, if Sven just keeps winning with C9, which I can see, Sven's pretty happy on C9. Maybe Sven will eventually get that. Hey, he is one of the best players that have played in North America of all time. But right now it's just Double It, and yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Another impact he had, I just want to bring up is he drug Yellowstar's lifeless corpse. I'm here. I'm here. He can't hear me, but I'm here.
All right. Hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, that's so weird.
One thing to point out is he drug Yellowstar's lifeless corpse to a finals. Like, a lot of people don't like Biofrost is like getting signed on CLG and having that contract is a lot of the reason is because he played with Doublelift and they were so dominant. Because like Biofrost was a rookie, he wasn't like even by Doublelift's accord wasn't like a great support. And when they got to Worlds, they had issues with him because like he wasn't at that level yet. But Doublelift like elevated the support he was playing with. And I'll say to a degree, Aframu also got this. It was like Aframu became famous as like a dominant lane support by playing with Doublelift. Yeah, I mean, like, that's how he got his name, was playing with Doublelift. And he's lucky because he played the next bit extremely well with Stixade to, like, keep that. But, like, now you would say, I don't know about Afro playing in lane, but, like, you don't say that about Doublelift now. He's still, you know, dominant. He's still, you know, as good as he was 3 seasons ago. It's just motivation issues at this point.
Yeah, I think the only way to, like, really handle his motivation issues is if he like stops thinking it's just NA and takes it to the like the C9 standpoint. It's like play to get better rather than we're playing here, you know. That's how C9 kept I guess like keep it wasn't elevating themselves but keeping themselves just so much higher than the rest of this team. So I feel like if Doublelift could at least change that mindset of his, he may even make it out of groups, you know? Who knows?
Yeah, I think the lack of a second great AD carry, and hopefully Sven does this for him, but it took a little while for Sven to get, like, good. But, like, there's no talk of somebody else being the best AD carry in America. And you talk about, like, sports or esports, anything like that. What motivates the best players is the idea that they're not the best. You know, it's easy if you're a mid laner because you can be like, I'm not as good as Faker. Like, I need to get to that level. But for Doublelift, who's been so dominant so long, it's like, who's even if he has this off split, like, who are you going to compare to Doublelift? Like, who are you going to say, well, now that guy's the best AD carry? Because even though Sven was great this split, you're not going to say, okay, Sven's the best AD carry in North America. And I hope that them being so bad this split motivates him on TSN to be like, no, I want to go back to being the best bot lane.
Yeah, he's like, I will be the best.
Yeah, that's what you hope at least.
Yeah, that's all we could hope for.
And just for the sake of discussion, I will say Sneaky was my second pick. If I had to pick somebody who had any type of comparison, it would be Sneaky, just because Sneaky has multiple titles. There's been plenty of splits where people said Sneaky was the second best AD carry or the better team fighter. I don't believe that's true, but he was very good. Sneaky, I think, is the second best AD carry in North American history, especially, you know, a Worlds semifinalist, multiple time Worlds attendee. He's got 2 titles himself. So yeah, I think Sneaky is unequivocally the second best AD carry in North American history. He could get unseated by Sven if Sven has another great split or so and it gets another title under his belt. But the gap between Sneaky and Doublelift is massive. Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, but Sneaky's great. He has so much success internationally. It's like, it's consistency. Sneaky has never taken a not good team and pushed them to that point. You know, Sneaky's always pretty much had a good mid laner and a good team around him, except for that first split with Jensen where they were just awful and they had to bring in High as the support. But yeah, just for conversation's sake, Sneaky would be my second pick.
Sneaky second pick. I guess. I mean,
maybe Wild Turtle. You know, actually, I could see an argument for Wild Turtle.
I can't see an argument.
He's a multiple-time title winner.
With Vixen carrying him every season.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I'm not saying I'm defending it. I'm just saying maybe it's don't mash me. It's not.
No, it's not. He's in academy purgatory right now.
How is Mash in academy? This guy's been playing League for like 10 years.
I don't know, man.
I think Mash was on the first LCS finals. I think he was on Good Game University when they played TSM.
Really?
I think Mash was on that team, which is like a crazy thing to see him in Challenger, because it's like, what? You're still playing?
It's pretty funny. I mean, hey, blame the GMs, okay? That's all I gotta say. You gotta blame the GMs. He's in.
Yeah, like who out here is like, you know, maybe mash me. Up and coming talent, don't mash me.
This up and coming talent. coming in. Oh man.
No
I
offense to
mean, at least
Mash, you know.
yeah. I mean, at least we still have some actual up and coming
Yeah,
coming through.
I mean, Johnson's gonna be the all-time NA goat when it's all
I
said and
could see.
done. But
No. It's gonna be tactical. Tactical.
tactical, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no. It's gonna be definitely when he finally figures out how to
Nope.
play outside the lane.
Nope. He's coached by Loco Doco. He's doomed now. It's never gonna happen.
He's on EG though.
I'm not. Nope. Not going there.
Oh man. Okay.
Anyways,
All right. So, doing after flaming the lack of NA bot lane talent, we are moving on. The face of support role. This one is probably pretty easy. Um, Aframu for me, anyways. He has been the NA support for a while now. Except, I mean, not recently due to recent events and his performance and everything, but he's still a player that you will think of if someone says a support in North America. They will immediately think of Aframu. He's just been like he was part of Rush Hour. He was still able to get CLG another split after the departure of Doublelift. Um, he's just been in the scene for so long. Support is so easy, bro. You know, he's just a player that that people will just think of if you say support. And you don't even need to say what support. They'll just be like, "Hey, support," and they'll be like, "Oh, Aftermoon, right?" And then that I mean that's my case for him. He's just been like CLG. Even on 100 Thieves first split, he was performing really well.
yeah, I think like that's probably the best case for us. You think North American support? Aframu is synonymous with North American support. I went a different way. I did like a really deep thinking about this because there's so many candidates who were like kind of good, but it's not like
But not
100%.
super good.
Yeah, it's like, because like part of me wants to say Core JJ because his peak is definitely higher than any other North American supports, right? Like his best play is Worlds level. He's like a top support, and he's got two titles. So yeah, I mean that's tough, but the body work's not big enough for me to say that he's the best ever North American sport. And Afro has 2 titles, but he's recently fallen off. And I would even say on 100 Thieves, he won an MVP his first split on 100 Thieves. And
Yep.
I'm not going to go on my rant about how I think that's the worst MVP class in LCS history, that there's just literally no one played good that split. And
I feel
Afro,
Doublelift should have gotten it.
he should have. How does Afro get that?
I don't know. It was just
I don't know. He has one.
Cody's son was playing so well in the late game that people were like, "Oh, it has to be Afro."
Afro's
No, it
so
has to be.
good. It's like everyone was bad. They literally won like 4 tiebreakers just to get the first seed. They like came into the week like in 5th. And then people were like, well, they were the first seed, so I guess 100 Thieves was the best team. It's like, no, they weren't. That's why I got smashed in the finals.
Yeah, it was a swift 3-0 by the hands of Doublelift
Yeah.
and Liquid.
So my pick, I went with someone
Vulcan.
who had
I knew
a
it.
Vulcan, best in LCS sport ever. It's Biofrost. No, it's Elimination. I went with Elimination.
Elimination.
Elimination was the first support to bring a notebook on stage and actually have a planned pick ban in North American LCS. And I think he was not the best mechanical player. He was not dominant in anything. He was one of the best warding supports. He really did revolutionize Vision. And that's part of the reason those early Cloud9 teams, the first 2 titles they got where they were super dominant. They were the most dominant team in LCS history up until Immortals and Cloud9 this split. But back then they were playing 30 games, a split. And I think
rather than 18.
Yeah, and I think they went like 27-3 or something. So like they were an absolutely dominant team, revolutionized Zyra's support in North America. And I think what he did to revolutionize coaching in LCS, even though he was a player, like his thought process of like outside of the game planning for what they were gonna do game day, excuse me, what they, their plan was in game, their pick ban of playing stuff like Ashe, Zyra, and Zac, stuff that no other LCS teams were playing, and him taking Sneaky, who was not a lane dominant, insane AD carry, and them still being, the second best bot lane in North America. And then after that, he goes on to play 2 more splits where he's a top 3 support in North America, and then goes on to be a coach, and then comes back to the LCS on FlyQuest as a support, and goes to the semifinals 2 years later on that team. So the original FlyQuest with the weird eye with the wings on it.
Yeah, the weird demon eye.
Yeah, that everyone hates. And thank you, God. I don't know how many times we said it on this podcast for this rebrand. It's the best thing that ever happened to LCS. But yeah, I just think like his impact on like changing the way competitive league was played in North America, and he kind of goes hand in hand with High. Your pick is like those two were the brains of C9. Those two are the ones that pushed like teams forward, and just off of their mental and preparation, they were the most dominant team pretty much in LCS history. Outside of now C9, who absolutely demolished, the split. But yeah, Elimination's my all-time. He's on Mount Rushmore for supports for me. Now, that's not saying if Core JJ continues for the next 2 splits and Team Liquid is in finals or wins the title in the next 2 splits and Core JJ maintains his level, he would be my all-time LCS support.
Yeah, if Core JJ just decides to hard smurf in summer and carry tactical and they win the split and go to semifinals at Worlds, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like already, the only reason he's not is because it's just not long enough yet for me to be like, okay, he's that good.
Yeah, there's just not enough like data, or I feel, or sample size to like really put him.
Well, we get to see it now with another AD carry. Like we haven't really seen him play with anybody but the greatest AD carry in LCS history. So yeah, it's like the reason Biofrost isn't in this discussion is we saw Biofrost without double lift. I mean, he's okay. He's a top 5 probably LCS support, but
yeah, but that 3rd place was more power of evil than the bot lane.
Exactly, and so it's like it's not really like Biofrost was like a dominant player without him. Now we'll have to see, can Core be a dominant player without double lift, which I think he can. And then you talk about Vulcan. If Vulcan continues summer being dominant and continues into next year, I mean, he easily was the best support in North America this year, and he was good last year. He has a title now. Finals MVP also. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, title Finals MVP showed that it wasn't all Cody, son. Sadly, really killed my hype for Cody.
Yeah, it did. You're like, wait. This was all Vulcan, wasn't it?
It was all Vulcan. Geez, support diff. But yeah, so I mean, I also agree with what you're saying about Elimination. I guess it'd be like the High and Elimination were the brains that constructed North American League of Legends.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, seeing how we haven't won a single international tournament.
Damn you, Elimination.
No, but it's good. It added structure. It didn't just make things random. It's not like it affected play style. I mean, shot calling, yeah, but it made the shot calling aspect really help teams form structure instead of just doing whatever.
Right.
Like what they did formed structure and how teams and how they should try and practice.
Yeah.
They did this good. So that's that. Do we have any honorable mentions for our Mount Rushmore? I don't really have any. I guess for me it'd be like Bjergsen, that I had High as my mid, but I don't really have any honorable mentions for my Mount Rushmore.
All-time greatest coach, I think we both would agree.
Dodo. I agree. No.
It's Jat.
No. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
Jat? Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
It's Rebird. It's Rebird. I mean, how could it not be?
He's gotten C9 to so many finals in second place that you can't say that he's not the coach.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so many
He
players
got
have
there.
left and not been good other places. Where
Yeah,
it's like clearly the system on C9, and they repeatedly get challenger players and bring them up to be all-star players. Like Licorice is like the shining example of like no one was talking about this guy, and people. I remember when they let Impact walk and were like, "We're gonna use Licorice." People on Reddit were like, "You guys are crazy!" Like
Yeah,
Impact's like
they're up in
first team all
arms.
league. Yeah, and
We're
like
claiming
now we're
they
like,
wanted Reaper's head.
yeah, now we're like, oh my gosh, Licorice is like the best top laner in North America. This guy's insane.
Yeah, it's true. He is insane. So it's great that um that yeah, Reaper, great coach. He's just what he's been doing, everything system and everything has been working out for so long, and they finally got another title under Reaper.
Yes, finally.
He finally got the last piece he needed, the bot lane. Oh man, but all right, that's it for our Mount Rushmore talk. But we're gonna move on to we got some big news.
LCS
Like a lot of
news.
LCS news. That's not TSM,
Well,
and
it's loosely related.
okay, loosely related to TSM, but we're not gonna be talking about TSM because we're gonna be talking about Dignitas, and Dignitas has actually picked up Dardoch, and that was like I don't know, maybe a few hours ago.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to be like, woo, but I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah, because it's more, and I agree with the ad sentiment. Because one, on the announcement, usually for team announcements, if a player is on academy, they say this player is on academy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, with the announcement, they just said welcome to Dignitas Dardoch. Dignitas Academy, just Dignitas. So this makes me think. This just kind of confuses things for me. It's like, is Acadian still on the team? Or I mean, it's great for Dardoch. I'm super happy to see him on the team. But there's lot of questions here with this move. You know?
Yeah, what does Dardoch give that Acadian didn't give? Is my biggest question. I mean, like, they're both junglers from the same, like, crop of those, like, 3 years ago hyper aggressive junglers that like looked really good when Kha'Zix and Graves were meta and have been like kind of up and down recently. But I don't see the reason to go get him.
Yeah, if anything, I feel Acadian's gotten better.
Yeah, I think Acadian showed more of a side than that. And I mean, like, Dardoch's been fine. Like, I thought Dardoch had a fine split, last split. I think TSM's problems are coaching, but I don't get that signing unless they're going to do something else with Acadian and he's going somewhere else. But after the Huhi contract last split, I'm like, I don't know what Dig is doing ever. So I'm just like, okay, that's cool. You have Dardoch now. Are you going to use him? Is this going to be good? Do you have another top laner? I guess maybe Lorlo's starting now. I saw Lorlo replied to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, Lolo and Dardoch are friends, but they've already played with each other.
It's Breaking Point 2.
Yeah, Breaking Point 2. Wait, no, not Breaking Point 2, but on TL. And I mean, recently I've seen, like, I was watching some streams. Lolo and Dardoch were duo queuing. I mean, it wasn't like serious because Dardoch was going Phil and they're friends, so probably won't need to read into that too much. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like I can't think of any tops that are available for them to be like, hey, to keep Lolo in academy, and I really don't think I don't see a reason for them to trade Acadian or anything, because Acadian was honestly the reason that Dig kind of got their stuff together towards the later half of the split. You know, I mean, he couldn't completely hard carry because Huni wanted to like run it down, and Aframu just wasn't Aframuing. So
Dig is TSM retirement home for junglers.
Oh man,
they literally have every jungler from the last 3 splits.
All right, well, Spica, I hope you're ready to play on Dignitas in the spring.
You ready to go to Dig? I mean, Johnson was on TSM Academy, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's true, but
that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
yeah.
it's not like anybody else was.
Yeah, but that was part of the whole like Vulcan trade um train that was happening. That Johnson on Dig was a result of that. But
I still can't believe, we all scoffed at that buyout for Vulcan where we were like, man, 1.6 million for Vulcan, that's crazy. And now we're like, yo, that is a steal. That
yeah,
dude's
he
insane.
really
Ow.
yeah. For all we know, if Dignitas just kept Cody and Vulcan, they could have won a split. Maybe Cody would have won Deathless again. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened if Dignitas didn't get rid of their best player. But
What are you talking about? They
um
still have Froggen.
ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, good joke with that one. Nah, I mean Froggen didn't play bad.
He's fine. He's a top 10 LCS mid laner.
Yeah, and him and Acadian really showed that like started to work things out also in the end and stuff. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything from Acadian. I mean, I'll just assume Dardoch's going to be on Academy, but the announcement just leaves me go like, usually
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
They
thing.
normally
Like most
say,
teams,
yeah.
yeah, most teams say welcome to TL Academy, or like TL, they were like Grig is joining TL Academy, or like I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It's,
I don't know. Dig doesn't know.
hopefully,
They don't know. Who knows?
yeah. I mean, for all we know, maybe Dig ended up trading Acadian
To
to
CLG.
CL. Yep. Maybe they traded it to CLG because CLG needs a jungler.
We need a lot.
But who knows? Who knows, guys? It's just weird. I wouldn't say it's weird, but it's just leaving a lot of questions right now. And it was a move so late in in this in the off season, quote unquote off season. But I guess that's also just because of TSM stuff. Like, no one wants Dardoch, but it's like secretly, none of the teams Dardoch wants to go on.
Who will
But
overpay for a player?
Dignitas.
Dignitas will
Makes
give us a
sense.
huge amount of money for a player past his prime. Let's call Dignitas.
Hey, I wouldn't say Dardoch's past his prime.
How do we know? I'm
Because
just
he
kidding.
had
That's top tier analysis right there.
some top tier analysis,
We
some
don't.
results based analysis. He didn't have this many good games on TSM after TSM didn't let him play how he wanted to play. It's like, well, he had these bad games on TSM, but he also had these really good early games all the time. It's just
This is his 7th LCS team.
7 games.
That's a lot. You're running out of teams to go to. E.g. Dardoch incoming.
And then Diggs Scaring.
I don't know. TSM trades for Svenskeren.
Season Treasure Scaring. Spica goes on Dig, and Dardoch goes on EG. Okay, this is getting way too
How do we
elaborate.
get Hanser back to TSM though? That's the question.
Give Broken Blade to Dig.
EG trades Svenskeren for Broken Blade.
Kumo.
Yeah, and Kumo. And then they trade Kumo to Golden Guardians because Golden Guardians developmental team. And then they get Hanser back. There you go.
And then Closer also goes to TS. It all pieces together. Oh wait, no,
Oh yeah,
Broken Blade goes.
that rumor fell apart pretty fast.
Oh yeah, it did. After that Biofrost leak, I'm like, speak it in the chat room. Okay, guess there's no Closer.
We literally finished a podcast about the TSM drama, and within 15 minutes, Biofrost leaks their roster on Discord.
Yeah, very impressive. I give a big shout out to Biofrost for allowing us to know their roster beforehand.
Thank you.
But yeah, the Dart. I just. What do you think? How do you think this will go?
I don't think they're a contender with Dardoch. I don't think they're a contender with Acadian, honestly, because I think Team Liquid's going to be better in summer, and I don't think there's a lot of spots.
All right.
To make
okay.
a punch. They'll make playoffs. I think. I don't know
Yeah,
actually, because who's out? Who are the two teams that don't make it? I'm gonna assume
Golden
CLG.
Guardians.
Golden
Golden
Guardians and
Guardians.
CLG. You think Golden Guardians didn't make top 8 in summer?
Oh wait.
Because 8
Okay.
teams.
Wait, let me think about it.
It,
Okay,
I
okay.
think Dig will
I
make
forgot.
playoffs, but
I forgot it's 8 teams. Yeah, Dig will make playoffs.
I don't think they'll go any
Um,
farther. I think they're a first round out playoff team.
we also don't know who their top laner is because, I mean, I feel because also teams usually make an announcement saying this guy's going to be our starting top.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll go on
so
record right now. If it's Lorlo, this team is not winning a playoff series. Not because I don't like Lorlo, just because the NA top talent is huge, and the only team they would have good matchups against is EG, and EG is better than them at every other role.
yeah. Wait, yeah, Johnson's not that good.
He's not Bang. He's just not. And that's not a knock. Like, there's a lot of 80 carries not as good as Bang. You could make the argument that if Afro picks it up in summer, he could be better than Zazel.
Or they replace Aframu. But no, Aframu's still on Dig. We know that.
I just don't
Yeah,
see. I don't know who they match up well against. I thought this in spring. I thought they overperformed at the beginning of the split. Like,
well, yeah, and then they fell apart because Grig. Here's the thing: if they kept Acadian, they probably would have made playoff. They may have even made it to top 5. You
yeah,
know?
probably.
Um,
Maybe. I mean, everyone. There's so many teams in that little bunch right there where you're
Soup.
like, yeah, because like, what is 100 Thieves going to look like in summer? Is that team going to get better or will they regress? Is CLG going to bounce back? They looked a lot better with Poe Belter at the end of the split than they did at the beginning of the split. So you think like, well, if that roster was playing the whole split, they'd probably pick up at least 1 or 2 more wins.
Yeah. And I mean, it's 8 teams in playoffs, so I don't know. It's super difficult. You know, if I feel for 100 Thieves, like what teams could they boot out? You know, Immortals was 7th this split, right? So
Yeah.
Mortals would be bumped down.
Yeah, because we assume, I assume top 3 is going to be C9. I don't know. That's tough. C9, I'm going to say C9 TSM Liquid.
I can't say Team Liquid because we tried to give Team Liquid the benefit of the doubt.
That's true.
Last split, and everything fell apart. And now with this, I mean, they had to figure out a new system.
That's true. New coach and everything. This is going to be different. So who do you put there? FlyQuest is the 3rd best team? Because I think TSM is going to be good just because Bjergsen and Doublelift are good enough to put that team at least in top 4.
Yeah, like Bjergsen and Bio. I mean, Double and Bio.
There you go. Biofrost is a true star of TSM.
Yeah. BioLift are going to start smashing lanes again. So I'll be super excited for the bot lane matchup for TSM and C9. I feel that'd be really fun. Just because you have Vulcan and Sven and Doublelift and Bio. So that'll be super interesting. I don't know.
We're gonna do our pre-split show where we're gonna go through everything, but
we're gonna do a pre-split show where we go through everything. But I'm just waiting for teams to say something because there's some things that I still need to like learn or know or something like that, or for certain teams, I guess.
Yeah, I think the whole quarantine and lockdown thing has made where like there's not a lot of moves happening. A lot of teams are sticking with their rosters, just saying. And I will say, part of me prefers that some of these teams didn't just blow rosters up. With the month break, it's like good on Golden Guardians and EG for sticking, with their rosters and saying we just want to get better.
Yeah, and I feel like those 2 teams are going to get better. Golden Guardians just needs to learn how to not die.
Who's going to be the support this split? I mean, that was the only one I was like really hoping somebody would make a change. It's like TSM coaching staff and Golden Guardians support.
Yeah, Golden Guardians support is going to be Huhi. They're probably going to stick with it. Rip Keith. I would have liked to see him play ADC and split.
In ALCS MVP, week 3, spring split 2020. Dude, he boomed Doublelift in lane. Let that go down in history. If you ever say Doublelift is a flawless player,
he got beaten by an autofill support.
Keith McBrief boomed him on Thresh.
Oh man, it's true. He did the minion hook
Fucking beautiful.
really destroyed
Right
him.
out of a movie about esports.
I'd watch a movie,
Like remembering the Titans, but like
but it's
remembering the
Keith.
bot lane.
Remembering Keith McGrief.
Remembering-
Remembering Late Toucan. Oh Jesus! But okay, so due to the lack of information of Dardoch and Dig, we cannot form a solid opinion. But I'm looking forward to see how things will change. One last thing that we want to touch on. So there's been more talk recently about NA LCS format changes, and it's something that really has me thinking. Like, how would a tournament format go? And I feel one problem, well, not problem, one thing that comes to mind could be burnout for some players sometimes. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's a long season and there's not a lot of off time. You know, you have what, a month between spring and summer, and if you're a team that goes to MSI, you don't really have a break. And then if you go to Worlds, you're getting like a month at the end of the year. Like if you're a top team, there's not really any rest time as a player.
Yeah, but it's like how I thought of it. It would be like if the NA LCS turned into a tournament style, it would be probably patch based. Like I don't know how many patches are in between a split, but it'd be like teams would probably have a week break between each patch for the tournament that they have, or maybe not a week break, but like a couple of days of break for it, because since patch changes all the time, you can't have like two different patches in one tournament. So it'd be better to just have, like, say, a tournament for each patch, and the and like with 10 teams, it kind of makes the format odd, but you can make it so like the first and second teams end up getting a bye for a certain round.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think there has to be some sort of buy implemented in whatever system we have now. I think that's like the biggest complaint. And another, we talked about it last time we were on. You know, the Players Association has to be the advocate for this. You know, any change in the format needs to come through the Players Association, because ultimately, like, that's the people who are going to complain about the format and
Yeah.
the grind of the format. Because from Riot's perspective, I get why we have the format we have now. It's the
for
most
viewership.
Yes, viewership. I mean, like, it's easy to watch. It's easy for me as a viewer to say, okay, games are on, you know, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Friday. Speaking of, I'm really sad Monday Night League's gone, because I really like that. But I understand for European viewers, Friday night is just better. It's just better viewership on a Friday night than it would be on Monday.
Yeah, now we got Friday Night League.
Friday
Whoa.
Night League. Pew, pew, pew. I'm doing finger guns, but you can't see it.
I had a feeling.
You know, you hear pew pew, you know what it is. But yeah, I think, you know, this is something the Player Association has to push for. There's no reason, even with our current format, that you couldn't have bye weeks, you know, and have teams, you know, alternate weeks off. You know, you have 2 teams a week. We play an 11-week season, and then every week 2 teams have off. It should work out fine.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, could definitely work out. Like, how many best of threes do? Well, it doesn't even have to be best of threes. You know, Impact said something earlier how a best of 2 would be good. You know, we don't have to have best of threes, and best of 2s still work out because the teams will still be placed based on their wins. You know,
Yeah, it's just like a point
it's not,
system, right? You get 1 point for going 1-1. You get 3 points for going 2-0.
yeah,
And 0
and
points for
like,
losing. Yeah.
and it's not like tiebreakers are a problem. We've had tiebreakers legit every single split since franchising.
Yep.
Has happened. So I don't see that being a problem. And could best of twos could definitely easily work. I mean, sure, all right, some games may go for like more than an hour and 30 if you're talking about Immortals, you know. But it's still like, this is something that a lot of players have been talking about and they want. So yeah, you're right. The Player Association should try and bring it up some more. Maybe for all we know, they're going to be talking about it for the following split. But
Right.
maybe it doesn't have to be a best of three, but a best of two would be good.
I think a best
Like
of
we
two
don't have.
with bye weeks makes sense because then you're, from Riot's perspective, you're getting the same amount of viewership because you're adding a game to every team playing, but you're having at least two teams sit out each week. They get rest. Players don't get burnt out as much. And I mean, teams can use that time for practice if they want to, and you're seeing other teams play also. But
Yeah,
it's just, I think something has to be done about the schedule because you see more and more players. You don't see us complain on bottom teams, and that's probably why Riot doesn't address it as much as 7 of 10 teams in the LCS do not have this problem. They're not going to MSI, they're not going to Worlds. So they're not having this huge, schedule that runs pretty much from January to, mid-November. But if you're a team like Liquid or TSM or one of these top teams that's going to Worlds, TSM going to Worlds, one of these teams, then you're playing League, 11 of the 12 months of the year. Even, professional sports aren't that much.
yeah,
Even
and
NBA, NFL have, a couple months off from the league.
yeah, and that break could be good. Some teams, because I know teams do have their off day when they have legit one day off. The bye week would be super good because they could give their players they give their players 3 days off if they want, or like 2 days.
Yeah, and you still get a practice week. You could practice on the days also that you're off. Like you're watching LCS, you have those days. Because the players still go to the studio, do whatever. But you have that week off to not have to do review. Your coaching staff gets more rest, gets more prep for the next week. And it's fair because every team gets a bye week. So every team at some point is going to be on that schedule.
Yeah, but it's up to the player association. It's up to them. If they want to try and do BO2, I'd prefer best of two. I'd love to see
Yeah.
2 games. I know Impact brought it up in something that he said. Best of twos would give a chance for main rosters to test out their academy players on stage.
Yeah.
That they could win, and then they're like, hey, this guy has had super good scrims recently and has been honestly 1v9ing. So let's have him play mid lane or top or whatever to try and see how he's working out. And that'd give them the exposure they need, and it would showcase them and could give them fans.
Yeah.
It could give them fans. Imagine if this like no name academy player comes in 1v9s. People are like, oh my god, this guy's insane. Where has he been? They're like, he's been dying in academy. The next thing you know, next split, or who knows, mid split, a team makes a trade. Hey, we need your academy player to replace our retired top laner.
Yeah, this is the only way Don't Mash Me gets stage time. I mean, and you know me, I'm the biggest advocate for getting Mash Me games in LCS.
Oh my god. You have to get this unknown talent.
Unknown, never before seen talent.
Oh my god. Into the LCS right now. But hopefully I don't know. We'll see, I thought of a whole new format for just for like a tournament. If people wanted to have a tournament style LCS, the playoffs would still happen because I see play after looking at this from a tournament style standpoint, like multiple mini tournaments going on throughout the split. How it would be, whoever wins the tournament, you get a certain amount of points, blah blah. Points give seeding for playoffs. Playoffs still happen, and I see playoffs as basically the international qualifier. That's what the thinking of it as a tournament style made me realize. I'm like, playoffs are just an international qualifier, like overall.
Yeah.
So honestly, it wouldn't make that much of a difference if they did do, say, a tournament style LCS winner and had a point system based on results. That wouldn't make much. But it's up to the league. It's up to the players. Hopefully, the player association says something and decides. Maybe we'll see something next year because we're not going to change it mid split. But I'd be very down for any new change. It's not that I don't like best of ones, but I would one, I'd like to see more games, and two, I think it would help teams figure out things that they're doing wrong more. You know, after best of one, you're just like, all right, you did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. If you at least do a best of two, you go in, you have a really short VOD review. You're like, hey, why did you need to keep in mind do this, and for all we know, the level of NA will be elevated. Even if it's slightly, it'll be elevated just a bit more for them to not be doing really random, terrible play.
Yeah, I don't see really any downside to switching to best of two. I mean, like, they get more games, you get more viewership, hopefully. I don't think you'll get viewer fatigue like you used to get with best of three, because best of three was.
Yeah,
It
those
goes
are
to three
pretty
games.
grueling.
Yeah. It can be rough. But best of two, I mean,
Same
it's
here.
shorter.
You know, when it was a 2-0, you're like, oh man, yeah, 2-0, sick. It was like best of three. You're like, and like with best of three, that's actually when people will tune in. All right, my team is playing. I'm gonna go see
Yeah.
this game. You know, so
Yeah, I will say, when it was back in, like, the double best of 3 days,
it's a tough
it's hard
discussion
to watch.
because players feel a certain way about it, but not enough players are talking out about it, and like coaches feel a certain way about it, but then also not enough coaches are talking about it. So
Yeah, I think the lack of,
there's
like,
not much
action
to
by Players
go on.
Association makes, like, a lot of people just kind of be like, well, we'll just play in whatever it is because we don't have any voice to change it anyways. When it's like, you're part of the association who could fight to change it if you guys did something with it.
Okay. Just with that, is there anything else we want to pass for this episode?
I'm good. I just want to say thanks to everybody who watched live. It's our first time doing this. If you guys enjoy it, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, anything like that. This one will be live tonight on Spotify and YouTube and all of our normal places you listen to our podcasts. But yeah, just thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Oh gee.
Bye. Hello,
Okay.
gamers.